Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, a Florida couple choosing alternative medicine over chemotherapy lost custody of their 4-year-old with leukemia. Joshua McAdams and Taylor Blandball were forced to give up custody of their son Noah after they ended his chemotherapy because of adverse reactions. Instead, they turned to alternative medicine, including CBD oils, fresh food, alkaline water, etc. Although they are now agreeing to chemotherapy, the judge is not backing down to the substantial risk of neglect. So DBL Nation, should these parents have custody of their son, and were they being neglectful? Take it away, Brandon.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, this is tough.
Here we go. Barb from Facebook says these parents were definitely being negligent. They needed to listen to the doctors who have studied for years how to treat their son. Barb, thank you for writing in first and foremost. I just look at it as I think those parents, and any parent in this situation, is going to look for an alternative way than chemotherapy. Chemotherapy also has its side effects as well, including being having that child being infertile. So I believe in this situation, after reading up, that they looked for alternative ways like we reported, and it's just unfortunate with everything. But DBL, please keep writing in.
Well, when I looked into it, Brandon, they did leave the chemotherapy and ripped out the kid's PICC line. And I have a lot of problems with that.
But they also felt like listen, I'm pro-science here, but they also felt like that the chemotherapy was poisoning their child. And I get it. That's exactly what chemotherapy does. But they did do the chemotherapy. They
stopped mid-chemo.
I understand that, but the doctors aren't home with their kid. Their kid was super violent, super sick, and so they felt like, what is happening to my child?
And I would say that the judge said there's a 95% chance of success with the chemo and 0 with what they wanted to do. And at some point, the state is going to look after the negligence of a child because the minor didn't make that choice. So
I hate ripping the kids apart from the parents. I really hate that. The kid needs its mom and dad right now.
Not if they're negligent. I disagree. Nance from Facebook says this is a slippery slope. Parents deserve full rights over what they do with their children. Good on them for not trusting Big Pharma in the first place. Nance, I totally appreciate you writing in, but you're just wrong. The state has every right to take care of minors because if they feel they're endangered, not vaccinated, all of these rules are from the state's point of view. The minor hasn't said, I don't want chemo. What if that kid wants to live and not try CBD? You can't allow those parents to say that, rip the PICC line out and drive away. It's unfair to the minor.
Sylvia from Facebook says taking away their son whilst he's going through cancer treatment can't be beneficial to his well-being. The court should instead rule that his parents must treat him with proper medicine. I'm not a parent. I have been very ill myself, and I know that I was having to look at different options of how I personally was going to be treated, and I chose definitely, if that got to that stage, I definitely wouldn't have had chemotherapy for myself. Would I put my child through that? Would I put my child through that, and given all the side effects? I honestly do not know. I believe that the parents did have their child's best interest at heart, and I think until you are in that situation, none of us have any right whatsoever to comment on this.
I agree. My heart breaks for these parents.
The doctors want the best, and so do the parents. And that kid is seriously ill right now. He needs to be with his family.
I feel bad for the parents.
No. These parents were working with the doctors, though.
They left the chemo.
Because
the PICC line
you don't know what it's like to be those parents. But then they did agree to do chemotherapy again. These parents are watching their child at home be super violent, super sick, so they didn't feel like it was the right option for the child. But then when they sat down with the doctors again, then they agreed to do it again. It is such a battle that I can't imagine going through. But these parents aren't so extreme as many people are making them out to be. They're just trying to do the best for their kids.
I feel for them. I just
do you think stripping them away from a child that needs them right now? It's going to the grandmother,
so it's going to a family. The judge doesn't feel that those parents are going to save the life of that child. So I feel bad for the kid.
I feel bad for the kid being not with his parents right now because the parents are working with the doctors. We're forgetting to report that.
It's going to continue that way.
Well, listen, this is a good conversation. Please keep chiming in, DBL Nation.